everyone, welcome to my brand new Christmas is Coming series. This is all about batch making cards. So I'm going to show you some simple card ideas that you can batch make so that you have a huge pile of cards by the end of November ready to send out in December to all your family and friends. So decide how many cards you want to have at the end of the month and divide it by 5, and that's how many you need to make of each of the card designs as you find them posted on YouTube. I have made a little PDF file to go along with this card series. If there are any little templates, they'll be included, but mainly it's for the card measurements for each of the card designs. So if you want that, pop along to my blog, click on the email button which is on my right hand sidebar, and you can email me and say please send me the PDF file, and I'll be happy to do that. Hi everyone, welcome to card number 4 in this 5 video series. I'm definitely not going to be making any more than 5, and I have to say I think I would have to start this some considerable months before Christmas if I was ever going to be able to post everything in time for having all your cards ready for December the 1st. So as usual, I don't know about you, but my Christmas preparations are coming along, but they're perhaps not going as fast as I hoped they might. So this card reflects that. This one's quick and easy. It was so quick and easy, in fact, that I thought I might show you how to turn your leftovers into tags. So about that PDF that I promised, I've decided to do it in a slightly different way because I haven't really, as you know, posted the 5 videos that I intended to post, so I couldn't have had the PDF ready until those 5 card designs are done and dusted. So what I'm going to do is right at the end of this series, I'm going to post a link back to my blog where you can see each of the 5 cards listed with all of the dimensions that you'll need. And if you do need the little star template, then you can email me for that anytime because I've got that already, and I will send that to the people that have already asked. So apologies for my sort of lack of thought of how this would actually run and how much work it actually is to, to be ahead of the game. So next time I think I'll probably have to start in October, get the videos ready so that I can start posting them in November. But best laid plans. I am still bringing you Christmas card designs, and I hope that you find them useful, particularly this one because this is quick and easy. So if you need last minute cards just like me, then this one is for you. So pay attention now because I promise that this will be quick. So I'm starting out by making all my card bases, and I'm going to be making 5 cards. So I've cut 5 cards to measure 11.5 by 5 3/4 inches, and then I've scored them at 5 3/4 inches. So I end up with a 5 3/4 inch square card, and I'm using a kind of pearlized cream cardstock for my cards. Next you need glitter card. I've got this lovely burgundy card and I've cut them to measure 3 1/4 inches square, and then I'm going to attach them straight to my card base. I'm thinking of keeping everything flat for the post, so I'm going to be using glue, although you could still use double-sided tape. Because I'm using glitter card, I know that the next piece will need glue in order to keep it in place, so I'm using glue to attach each of these little squares to the centre of each of the card fronts. So remember, I like to give you choices when you make your cards, and this one's no different because it's quite easy to change the colour of your card base, change the colour of your glitter card. I could be easily using a white card base with perhaps a gold glitter card, but I'm using a cream card base with burgundy, and I'm going to show you a slightly different colourway because I've just found myself a little piece of turquoise glitter card which I'm about to show you, and you can tell I've just found it because it's got a big lump of paint on the back of it. I'm not sure why, so I'm just going to get rid of that, and then I'm going to stick that to the centre of the card front. I just wanted to show you how easy it is to change the colours in this little card design. So for the next step, we're going to be doing the stamping, and you'll need some Christmas greetings for this. I'm using these Christmas greetings from Rubber Dance, and I'll be using one stamp which is in a single line for the front of the card, and then a greeting for the centre. So I've had a look through my inks and I've picked out this archival ink that's very, very similar to the glitter card that I'm using, and I'm going to be stamping the single line greeting at the bottom right hand edge. The bottom right hand edge, yes, I think you'd call it that, bottom right hand edge of the glitter card square. So I'm just having a little test run, and I'm using a square and a piece of scrap card just to judge where this stamp will actually be, because it's not clear, so it might be worth having a test run unless you've got a clear stamp, which will make the job much easier. So inking up the stamp and then using that same positioning, stamping the greeting, warm wishes at the bottom right hand side of the glitter square, and I'm going to repeat that for all of my cards. So rather than use the same greeting on the inside of the card, I'm using one of the other stamps in the range, and again using that same coloured ink, I'm just stamping it right in the centre of the inside of each of my cards. And then last but not least, I'm going to repeat that process, this time on my turquoise card. So I'm using Peacock Feathers Distress ink because it was the closest ink that I had. I'm a little bit concerned about it drying on this pearl card, so I'm just going to be careful to put it to one side to make sure it's dry before I put anything on top of it. So just stamping the card front and the inner with the Peacock Feathers Distress ink. For step 3, you need to create your little die cut snowflakes. So I started out with a 3-inch square of the cream cardstock, and then I've used this single snowflake die, which I've positioned in the centre of the 3-inch square and cut out each of my little snowflakes. Now this was a Provo Craft die. It's one of the very first dies that I ever bought, and I'm pretty sure that you've got similar dies in your collection. You could also perhaps die cut snowflakes using any kind of electronic cutting machine as well. While I'm thinking about alternatives, if you don't have a die cutting machine, then perhaps you can stamp a great big snowflake in the middle of each of those squares and glitter emboss it. So now I'm adding glue to each of those snowflakes and attaching them centrally on top of the glitter card. Now you'll see here that I'm using glue. Now the reason for using glue is because that glitter card is notoriously hard to stick things to, and double-sided tape quite often comes away with lots of glitter on it and turns itself into glitter tape. So I'm using glue, and I'm being careful to add a little bit of glue at the very edges of the snowflakes where they meet in the middle. You can see here I'm going right around the outside, and then I'm coming in to the centre at each of those points on the snowflake. That makes sure everything stays nice and flat, and really do give them a good press down to make sure that they stick to that glitter card. I promised you that this was quick, and all that's left for me to do is to add a little bit of bling in the centre of each of my snowflakes. I was thinking going big, but I think I'm going to go medium. So again, don't forget to add a little touch of glue. Perhaps you could use glossy accents or PVA, and then add a little diamond to the centre of each of your snowflakes. And it really is just the little finishing touch that sets this very simple card design off. It's very elegant, it's very quick to do, and it's perfect if you're a last minute Christmas preparer like me. So it was all over so quickly, I thought, I feel the need to do some more crafting, and I noticed these strips of card that had come off the bottom of the square cards that I'd cut. So I've decided to make my leftovers into tags. So I took my little strips of glitter card that I had left over from cutting out my squares, and then I went along the actual strips cutting out half snowflakes, and that's what you can see here. So I cut my cream cardstock into 4-inch lengths, and it was already 2.5 inches wide, and now I'm cutting little pieces of glitter card to match my snowflakes that measure 3/4 of an inch by 2.5 inches, and I've got some in the burgundy and some in the turquoise. Next I'm going to attach each of those little glittery strips to the top of each of my cream squares, oblongs, which are about to become tags. So I've got a few in the turquoise and a few in the burgundy. And if you've got any stray edges where you've got extra glitter card, you just trim those out of the way before we turn these into tag shapes. So that little glitter card strip measures 3/4 of an inch, so I'm just measuring 3/4 of an inch from each side of the top of the tag, and as I said, 3/4 of an inch down, and then taking my scissors, I'm just going to cut across the top of the tag at those points. And then once you've measured once, you can use that one as your template to quickly cut all the rest of your tag shapes. And I know that I've speeded this up, but really it is a very, very quick process, and it's a great way to use up any leftovers. Think about any things that you've cut from Christmas cards. Could you make them into bespoke tags for all your Christmas parcels? Now, depending on how you cut your snowflakes, I've got some halves that are already cut. Some of my glitter cardstock I could just cut a whole snowflake, so I'm just cutting them in half and attaching them to the bottom of the tag. And then trimming away, just slightly wider than my actual tag base, so just trimming away any excess. So that way I get 2 tags for the price of 1 snowflake. And it was while I was cutting these out, I thought they'd look quite nice on the inside of the card. So you'll see in a moment that I attached some of these little snowflakes to the insides of my finished cards. I think it really does add a nice finishing touch just to add these little half snowflakes to the inside of the cards as well, because it looks really nice on the bottom of here, and you can see how nice it looks on the inside of the card. So just trimming it away where it wasn't quite straight. Now, I did think I could use some of the snowflakes that I cut out, which I've got left over, that were cream, but they just didn't quite stand out enough, so I think I'll save them for something else. So now it's time to add a little hole at the top of each of your tags. I'm using my crocodile to do this, and you can use whichever hole making method you have at your disposal. It might be a hammer with a little hole punch that you bash and take your day's frustrations out, or one of those bedoingers, which I've got, that are quite satisfying to put holes into your projects, but this definitely is the quietest, and I'm just punching a hole in the top of each of my tags, ready to add the ribbon. So in my little set of Christmas greetings, my little rubber dance set of stamps, also comes 2 stamps that are very, very useful, I think, for tags. This one says "Do not open until Christmas," and I'm going to put that across the tag. Again, matching up my inks to my glitter card. And then switching back to the burgundy ink for the burgundy tags. So also in the set is a very handy to and from stamp, which is just perfect for your Christmas parcel tags. Next up, I'm adding some gems. This time I'm going for slightly smaller gems, as we have only got our half a snowflake. Again, using glue to make sure that those gems stay put. And you can see they've turned out very nice indeed. They really are lovely, and were extremely quick to do, and used up all those lovely leftovers from the original card. So it's a great thing to do, you know, when you're making your Christmas cards. Just have a look at your leftovers and see if you can come up with a quick and easy design to make yourself some tags ready to stick onto your Christmas parcels. As I tidy away, you can see that I keep my jewels all coloured in colour families, and you can see I've got them in these little acetate envelopes with little pieces of card, so I know if I pick out the red card I'm going to find my red gems, and it just makes things much easier to put your hand on quickly, and they all sit in this little drawer ready for when I want to add a little bit of bling to any of my projects. So time to add the ribbon to the tops of the tags. So I've come up with the way that I want to tie these on. So I've got a little length of ribbon that I'm folding in half. This will be the piece that I'll be able to use to tie them to my parcels. And then I'm taking another length of the same ribbon and just tying it in a little bow to hold that piece of ribbon in place. And it just makes a nice finishing touch to the top of the tags. Very luxurious indeed. And I'm pretty sure you'd pay a pretty penny for these tags were you to buy them from a shop. And as I told you, it's all about using up leftovers for these tags, and my final tags I'd run out of the ribbon that I've been using, so I'm using a wider piece of ribbon, and this time I'm just tying it in a knot, just trimming off the ends so that they don't unravel. So I think that's it. Can we call that a wrap? And pardon the pun. And so now we have a full set of Christmas cards, great to make if you're in a hurry. They really look fab, and now we've got a whole bunch of matching tags. I know, the jokes are supposed to make you say ho ho ho, not no no no. Anyway, I hope you've liked the tutorial more than you've liked my jokes. If you have, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button, the like button, the share button, and spread a little bit of Christmas cheer. I hope that I'm helping you to get those cards made, even if this series is running late. Don't forget, at the end of the videos, next time I will be adding the link so that you can get all of the dimensions for all of the cards in one place. So until next time, thank you for watching. Click here if you want to see more videos in this series, the Christmas is Coming series that shows you how to batch make cards in time for Christmas. If not, you might want to click on all the Christmas cards that I've shared over the period I've been on YouTube. So this is the Christmas card playlist, and last but not least, I also have a Christmas project list playlist. So this is one of those projects that you might be interested in. So I hope that's put you in the mood for Christmas, and I will see you again soon.